Okay, so it's always funny to me when I recommend writing to people because I don't consider myself a writer. I actually avoid it at not all costs, but many costs. Um, so I'm going to give you 3 different writing practices today to try. If you find yourself a little resistant or avoidant of writing practices as well, then just start somewhere. There's going to be some friction in the development of a new habit, so just know that that's part of the process. Give it like a week or 2 weeks of any practice that you're starting to see if you notice a benefit. Some of my other videos, I talk about how to become more self-aware and really evaluate if a tool is working for you. So being able to identify how you're feeling and scale the intensity of that emotion or your internal state is really important. But the writing practices are as follows. The first one is just a simple to-do list. If you feel like you have a lot of things to do, there's not enough time, you feel very disorganized and jumbled, just write down the things that you need to do. Once it's written down, then you can organize and work with the information. But it's really hard to organize and hold that information in your head when it's just floating around in your brain. I had a client recently call it brain soup, and I loved the description because I felt like it's so accurate, right? Like soup, it's sort of like it needs the form of the container in order to not just be a mess everywhere. And so the same thing can kind of happen in our brain. If we kind of give our ideas or all those thoughts some containment, then it's easier to work with. So to-do lists are super helpful, however you do those, whether you handwrite it or use some sort of device or app. The second one is morning pages. I learned to do morning pages when I did my yoga teacher training. Again, I was very resistant beforehand. I never wanted to do journaling. My physical therapist and a good friend, Dr. Dawn at Revitalize Rehab Club, was always encouraging me to do it to manage my stress. And I was like, nope, 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 nope. In my mind, that whatever I wrote needed to be interesting or poetic or profound. I didn't realize that I could just write to get thoughts out of my head. And I was already a therapist at the time. I just didn't understand the practice. So Morning Pages is based on the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. If you don't consider yourself to be an artist, you're probably still a creative. So you're somebody that has to create something, whether it's solutions to problems or any other product. But Morning Pages really helps you sort of clear out the mind. We spend a lot of effort and energy holding on to our thoughts and trying to remember things so that way we can recall them later. Try to find clarity or resolution. And Morning Pages is just a way to do it. I like to think of it as like a parking lot for my ideas and my thoughts. Sometimes I can't even read my morning pages because my handwriting is so messy and I'm just going a mile a minute. And other days it's really hard to get anything on the page, and I'll literally write something like, that plant over there needs to be moved. I just wrote about the plant that needs to be moved. My dogs are cute. I just wrote about my dogs that are cute. And what that does is it just keeps me taking action towards the goal, and eventually the thoughts will come. There's not always a lot of thoughts. It's not always like really interesting what I'm writing, but the point is that I'm taking action towards that, and I'm just kind of moving through that obstacle or that barrier. There's a strong parallel to that in behavior, right? Like waiting for the inspiration to come. Probably a whole other post. Okay, so the third writing practice is, I tried this recently off the Huberman Lab podcast. So he sort of issued this challenge on Instagram about trying this writing protocol. Because I was doing breath work that week, and there was some stuff that I knew I wanted to resolve in breath work or that I wanted to get some more clarity on. I figured, why not? So what I did was I did 4 days in a row, just because I had breath work on Saturday. And then I've done a couple supplemental sessions after. This protocol or this writing practice is much more focused. So morning pages can be really broad, right? Like it might be more reflective of what's happening in your mind, all things in your life. This is a little more narrow in focus, so it's more specific. What I noticed was it helped me sort of desensitize myself to the emotion. So there was some emotion. It wasn't strong, but there was some emotion for sure. Yours can be strong, that's okay. But it helped me get clarity. So there was a couple issues that I wanted to write on, and I didn't really know which one to pick. But then the clarity came when I was watching the the podcast and listening to the instructions, I was like, oh yeah, these things are all related. So they were all about what I was working on was all about relationship, and various types of relationships. So some family of origin relationship, some stuff that with my boy's dad, and then just current absence of relationship, I suppose. And so I was just trying to figure all those things out. Doing this practice, it really helped me to see how they're interconnected, see how not having resolution or clarity in one area was amplifying responses or reactions in other areas and kind of making them more difficult to work through. And so the focus really helped me just, again, gain that clarity, but by physically writing it out, it helped me see it, it helped me work with it. I can see like the evolution of the writing over the 4 days, notice my progress, and kind of see how it was very emotionally rich in the beginning, and then it got more rational and helped me find direction to travel in. So those are the 3 writing practices for you. Just a simple to-do list if you just need a place to get organized and something to start with. Morning pages if you just need to sort of, you have a brain dump, and then this more specific writing practice, and I'll write this all in the caption if you are struggling with a specific topic and you need to get clarity on that.